Alright, so this should be the last video unless I forget something, or I'll just post an announcement if I do, but I'm just going to use this video to wrap up some things for the course, talk about final project turn-in, and there's also 4 more points to be earned in the form of a discussion post, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. I'm just going to point out I'm going to be embedding all these Tegrity recordings in here, but I have also uploaded the R reticulate package for running Python in your RStudio session, and this is just a YouTube video for a class project where they do a good summary of reticulate, so I have that available. And I also have the R versus Python slide in there with the errors fixed. I should really have someone to double check these things before I send them out in the world, but those should be fixed. Let me know if you notice anything with that. And also I will be posting the Shiny application example that I showed you with Leaflet to the DIGA645 example page on my GitHub, but I'm also going to post that triangle example I just did in the last video. It's got the 2 functions I wrote in R to do the triangle program from the Eloquent JavaScript book, and then I also have the Python down here just commented out because it's not going to run in this environment unless you install Reticulate and want to play around with that. But it's just there for comparison, but I am going to go ahead and push it, so I need to change directories into R class, which is the folder that I have this stuff in, and then I think it's DIGA645 examples, and I'm going to do get status. Alright, so I just need to add the class 8 example I just did. What did I call it? Class 8. There we go. So I've added that, and now it should be staged if I do get status. Just a little refresher on Git here. I can open this more. Let's see. Okay, there it is. It's staged. Do git commit -m adding Python versus R triangle example. Okay, and I'm going to push it. It's just one last time showing you that workflow. And here I am on my GitHub and DIGA645 examples, and there's class 8 triangle added a few seconds ago. So I will also put the Shiny app up there, as well as examples from class 8. And so this class was just sort of a potpourri of different directions you can go in R. You know, you're not required to make a Shiny app or anything like that. These are just sort of examples of some of the next topics you might encounter if you just decide to move further on with R. But the main deliverable that I'm expecting will be on April 28th here, which is when the final project is due by the end of the day. And I just want to point out that it is posted under the assignment, so there's a spot where you can turn in your final assignment. And I also have the final project instructions, and I really want to highlight something in here because I didn't have this in when I posted it week 5, and it's just that all of the deliverables are the same here, but I've added this. Make sure to include your HTML or PDF document that is generated when you knit your .rmd file. So go ahead and save that HTML or that PDF because that's the actual report that you want people to see in this scenario. That's what the user is going to see. They don't need to see the .rmd or the R script behind the scenes, although you do need to turn it in for me for this class. But this is sort of the final report document that you will turn in. So it kind of goes in order of your process. You know, you've got your .r script. It may have everything that you include in the R Markdown as well, or it may have some other stuff that you did for data visualization, or you know, that you don't actually need to include in the R script. But make sure it has comments, because you may be coming back to this in like a couple months, 2 years, and it will really help yourself if you've added some comments explaining your approach and what you did. And then you'll have your .rmd file with the markdown report, you know, summarizing your visualizations, you know, trying to get to that point of why Emerald Dashboard is an issue and why you did your analysis the way that you did. And then when you knit that with the knit button, it will render, say, an HTML document, and you'll also save that as well and turn that in. So I wanted to point that out, and of course, you know, email me if you are running into any problems and Google isn't working for, you know, you can't Google the answer and stuff like that, or if you have any questions about the actual deliverables, I would recommend turning them in a zip file. And then you may have noticed from the syllabus, there's one more thing that you have to do for the class. This is the last thing you'd have to do, I promise, is a final discussion post, and this is because we needed a interactive component for the last class. So to make that as easy as possible, I've just made it a discussion post that you can do on the discussion board up here under Student Tools. You know, put your posts in there. But this is just a reflection of what you've learned in R, and if you're going to use it for future applications, or if you're not going to use it. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you're, you know, you're going to say like, oh, I don't think I'm going to continue with R, I'm going to use something else. That's totally fine. It's just sort of to give us an idea as we're developing this course. This is the first time it's been taught. It's just to give us an idea of what people might be using it for going forward. You know, if they're not going to use it, why, kind of thing. So it's going to help us quite a bit beyond just the an evaluation that you do that is standard for all courses. So you'll write a discussion post. It does not have to be long, just like a little paragraph or something, talking about what you learned through the course, any questions you still have. Do you plan on using it in the future for future projects? If not, why? And then you can also respond to other people, like if someone brings up, you know, they're going to use relational databases with R, you know, you can do your discussion post in response to theirs if you want, and say, you know, and say something about that, but don't just say like, I'm going to do that as well, period. You know, elaborate a little bit, talk about, you know, a package you learned that you want to explore further, or what you plan to use. And again, this is just 4 points. It's not that many points, so don't spend too much time on it, but it is due at the same time as the final project, just by the end of the day, the end of the course, Sunday, the 28th at midnight. So that's the last thing you have to do for the class, and I've kind of highlighted it here because it kind of snuck in under the radar in the syllabus, so I tried to make it kind of obvious. And as well as in the agenda, I posted how to get the last 4 points so that people would watch this video and find that out. But that is all I have to say. Again, unless if I think of anything else that I'm leaving out, I will let you know via the announcements that I added some new materials or something like that. But that pretty much wraps up this integrity recording and this course. And don't forget to turn in your final projects and just post that little discussion board post and get the 4 points.